Это как?
Включил.
Так.
А если что, выключай.
Раз. Начинаем? Добрый день. Да. Или еще вот коллега будет? Доброе утро.
So good morning, dear friends, dear colleagues.
Там дают знак, видимо, запись на...
So we're given a sign, as far as I understand, they're adjusting a recording. We're happy to welcome you at the 15th International Business Week that takes place in FAR from the 14th through 16th of December. Today we have a working day, so FAR is not talking and just broadcasting as far as we have live broadcasting. And I'm the moderator of this session. I'm Rustem Fathulin. I'm the head of Association of Entrepreneurs of Bashkortostan. So this session is called Republic of Bashkortostan, Republic of Kazakhstan. Enhancement of cooperation between the two republics, and the organizer of the session is the Ministry of External Economic Relations and Congress Activities of Bashkortostan, and the representative office of Bashkortostan at the Trade Representation Office of Bashkortostan and Russia in Kazakhstan. Today we are going to have a very interesting conversation. We have online guests, and it will last 1 hour and a half. And I think that I would like to address my words to my colleagues. We have timing, we have special timing, and so we should keep to timing in order not to waste our time and to take the time from coffee break. So today we celebrate the 30 years of diplomatic relationship between Bashkortostan, Kazakhstan and the Russian Federation. And so we have 84 regions cooperating with Kazakhstan, and Bashkortostan is one of the leading countries. And so far, people are speaking from different tribunes that the main priority is the industrial cooperation and the dedicated import substitution programs, which is a matter of paramount importance for both republics. And we would like to understand how this cooperation and integration will be provided. And we will try to answer all these questions. And I would like to introduce our first speaker. And I would like to give the floor to the advisor of the Trade Representative Office of Russia in Kazakhstan, to Ruben Petrosyan. We welcome you. Are you with us? Are you online? Can you hear us? Yes, I do hear you. Please tell us about your vision of cooperation between the two regions and what prospects do you see? Thank you. Thank you very much. In the first turn, I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity to welcome the forum. Forum is really a very serious and an interesting event. And secondly, as you have already mentioned, one of the organizers is a representative of Bashkortostan at the Trade Representative Office of the Russian Federation in Kazakhstan. And it is nice to welcome our new staff member, our new staff member, Ural, who will give a new impetus and certain dynamics to the Russian-Kazakhstan relationships, representing Bashkortostan. This is really a landmark event, because next time he will join us, he will arrive in Kazakhstan, and he will join our Trade Representative Office. As for the mutual relationship between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan, I would like to speak about two main issues. One of those is related to the fact that we have passed a certain cycle, the 30-year cycle of globalization. Some people, some economists consider that it is over, others think that it's just broken during the pandemics. But this cycle, to a certain extent, has already disappeared as far as there are certain positive and negative moments here. As for the positive aspects, we have achieved general competitive points which will be typical for all of the countries, all of the regions, and as for the negative aspects, we are losing the identity. We see that the countries and regions are losing their identity. And here, the relationships between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan will be in the idea of the fact that we observe the historical, multi-age traditions and trends in terms of relationships between the two nations. And this is really important because in external trade, in external economic relations, the identity is manifested to the most contrast pattern, and we need to take this into account in terms of formation of relationships between the countries and between the nations. So far, we are looking at relationships between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan as the most perspective relationships from this point of view as well. And secondly, you know that recently there was a regional forum, Russia and Kazakhstan in Orenburg. This was the interregional cooperation. As for the interregional cooperation, we should say that we see prospects of such cooperation, especially taking into account what you've mentioned, meaning industrial cooperation, building the value and economical chains between the companies, the branches of industry in different regions, constituent territories of the Russian federations and regions. And if we speak about such direction as not just interregional aspect, but transborder or close to border trade, on the one hand, this could be treated from the formal point of view as far as Bashkortostan does not have the border with Kazakhstan. But if we look back in history, for multi-ages, this border existed, and as for the relationships between Kazakhstan and Bashkortostan, we cannot consider it as the transborder cooperation. Maybe somebody will object, but I think that this could be focused in such a direction in terms of relationships between the two countries and two republics. As for the legal and organizational basis, it really exists, and it's quite a substantial base, so we have different agreements. But as for the main agreement, the basic one, between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan, we have not signed it yet. Although in 2019, the proposal that was signed by the head of the government of Bashkortostan, it was sent, but still no answer was received. I think here the role of our new representative of Bashkortostan could be very positive. It could positively affect the signing of this agreement. This will be one of his functions while working in our trade representative office. Now, speaking about the branches of industry and the industrial aspect of development of our relationships. So immediately we see that there are prospects for cooperation in oil and gas sector. It's well developed both in Kazakhstan and in Bashkortostan. I'm not going to get into deep details, and I'm not trying to explain who is who in these directions. But what I would like to say here, once again, getting back to industrial cooperation. Along with the companies, mining companies and the operators who are employed in this market, we have a lot of companies that are servicing companies for these branches of industry. And here we see multiple opportunities for cooperation and for application of those skills and excellences that the Russian companies offer for Kazakhstan or in Bashkortostan. These opportunities could be successfully used by both parties. We see such examples, and here we could work together in this direction actively. As for industrial cooperation, here we can see two approaches. One of those approaches will be the one that we used to stick to for quite a long period of years, in the recent 2 or 3 years at least. This was related to localization of manufacturing at the adjacent territory. In this case, we mean the territory of Kazakhstan. This is really very interesting. And in conditions of sanctions, this is even more interesting, because when we take into account the non-stable geopolitical situation and the traditional friendly relationships with the Republic of Kazakhstan, this could be a very interesting and very prospective trend. Moreover, we could focus not just on industrial cooperation with Kazakhstan, but also we can take into consideration further export of products that are jointly produced by the Russian and Bashkortostan companies and Kazakhstan companies for further supplies to the third country markets, which unfortunately nowadays are closed for Russia and are closing for Russia. So far, this could be a very interesting and promising direction. And secondly, we have a lot of examples of violation of those process chains that used to exist for many years, especially in the times of the Soviet Union, and those chains were violated. It's not a secret that many companies that utilize the products of the Ukrainian machinery plants are incapable of filling the gap. So far, we need to find the new sources to cover those needs that both Kazakhstan companies and the Russian companies have. And here we see the role of industrial cooperation, which is going to be really high. I'm not going to list all of the companies that exist in Bashkortostan, which could be of interest from the point of view of cooperation for Kazakhstan. But BSK, the Bashkir company, should be mentioned here, because there are a few projects, live projects, that are planned to be implemented in Kazakhstan. We have a lot of work to do. This work exists. We have a lot of prospects for mutual cooperation, and we need to support this and to enhance this. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Andrei, for your nice words and support. And we continue. At our session, we have officials from Bashkortostan, those who are responsible for development of international cooperation and external relations of our republic, and they support our export-oriented entrepreneurs, and this is their burden to solve their problems, not an easy ones related to export and import of the goods. And at our session, we have the Deputy Minister of External Economic Relations and Congress Activities of Bashkortostan, Yana Chernyshenko. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Rustem. Greetings, dear colleagues. It's my pleasure to greet you at our today's session dedicated to economic relations between Kazakhstan and Bashkortostan. I can say quite confidently that such meetings as part of International Business Week, it serves to strengthen our well-established relations with the Republic of Kazakhstan. I should mention that Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan are tightly knit, not in terms of economy, but we also have joint history of our folk. We pay a lot of attention to cooperation with all the regions of Kazakhstan. And today, Kazakhstan is our main partner in CIS. Last year, the trade was equal to about $400 billion, and 85% is export from Bashkortostan. This year, we can say quite confidently that the given numbers will be far increased. In the beginning of this year, a meeting of the work group, the first meeting of the work group for cooperation between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan took place. It's a great tool to develop our cooperation and to build dialogue between authorities and companies of both republics. Bashkortostan actively participates in all exhibitions and fairs held on the territory of Kazakhstan. We hold a lot of B2B sessions, negotiations in various formats. Our companies implement joint products in industry, agriculture, and solidify industrial cooperation. We ship products, agricultural products, and vice versa. In the first place, we ship vegetables, fruit, confectionery, sweets, and pasta from Kazakhstan. We also work a lot with the distributors. We also strengthen our humanitarian contacts. About 1,000 students from Kazakhstan study in Bashkortostan. If we go back to industry, in terms of mutual interest, in terms of cooperation, this year, as part of Zauralia investment Sabantuy, which was held in Sibay, we had a dedicated session between Kazakhstan and Bashkortostan called Extending the Borders. We signed several memorandums on cooperation between the companies of our both republics. This means that there is a huge demand of Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan for the events of such kind. Last year, Radi Khabirov, the head of Bashkortostan, visited Kazakhstan, and we opened a representative office of Bashkortostan on the territory of Kazakhstan, which was further developed. This was mentioned by the previous speaker. And this work is now reformatted. We went a long way. A huge work was done, huge efforts were invested, and starting from next week, our representative office will start operating in Kazakhstan in new format. We will send our experts to work at the trade offices of the Russian Federation. Ural Aznabayev was appointed by Radi Khabirov as an official representative of Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan. Let's wish him luck. I'm sure that this will be the starting point in further development of our friendly relations, and it will increase the trade between the republics and mutual cooperation. Thank you so much, Yana. Ural, may I ask you to stand up for everyone to see you? Congratulations and thank you so much. I would like to give the floor to our next speaker, Semyon Pelyugin, the honored consul of Kazakhstan in Ufa. Semyon, my congratulations on your appointment to the position. I would like to wish you success and attainment of all the goals, desired goals. Semyon, please share your vision regarding perspectives of cooperation between the two countries. What should be done? Which area we should develop? Greetings. Let me thank you for invitation to participate in this meeting. Also, I would like to thank people, our guests, and all the attendees who found the time in their schedule to visit, to be with us. I'm sure we will build tighter relations. My name is Semyon Pelyugin. I am the honored consul of Kazakhstan in Bashkortostan. Yes, as you said, I was just appointed 3 years ago. And I would like to say that we have 3 key areas. First of all, legal basis, building legal basis for the citizens of Kazakhstan and Bashkortostan. Number 2 is cultural. Yelena mentioned that we have joint culture, history, and we share the same history base of the people of Eurasia, and I think economy is also important. In terms of economy, I think that the first thing we need to synchronize between Kazakhstan and Bashkortostan,
Тут, скажем так, это не там
it's not a one-line street, one-direction street. It's mutual cooperation. Here in Bashkortostan, my scope of operation includes support of businessmen, and many people here represent large-scale business whom we can hook up with our local businesses, and we have small-size business also who resort to us seeking answers to some questions. And
это все-таки и с нашей географической близостью.
geography is also important, proximity, transportation, accessibility. We have direct trains between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan, bus communication, and so on. So this is actually what I've mentioned. This is the scope of my responsibility. If any of our guests have any questions, you feel free to resort to me. I will answer them with great pleasure. Thank you very much, Semyon. I think we will have Q&A session a bit later. Now I would like to give the floor to our guests. Let me introduce those who we have here. Thank you so much for being with us. The first person, we have an advisor of Aktobe company, Semyon Zheldesbaev. You are representing a company which is directed not only towards profit, not profit-oriented, but also you are trying to build cooperation between business and administration. Please share your plans. What is the potential? Please share your vision regarding the potential of cooperation between the countries. Maybe you can share some already win stories, success stories.
I'm happy to welcome you. My name is Timur Zheldesbaev. I'm the representative of Aktobe region of Kazakhstan and of the corporation Aktobe. And briefly, I would tell you about our corporation. This is a regional institute for attraction and support of investment projects, also entrepreneur support, business support. We are oriented on social entrepreneur interaction, and so such cooperation would be related to stable projects that support the entrepreneurship in terms of implementation of social projects via different government bodies and structures. Such social entrepreneur corporation was established on the basis of the social entrepreneurship zones that provides the support for investors, implementing different programs via industrial zone. Excuse me. Currently, in our industrial zone, we have carried out 12 projects in chemical industry, construction materials, logistics. And also reprocessing and restoration of tires. And we see the priority sectors would be metallurgy, chemical, oil and chemical, and production of construction materials. So far, successful implementation of these projects will result and it will give economic growth for investment for over 43 billion tenge. As for the attraction of investments, we are expanding the scope of cooperation of the industrial zone, and it will allow us to invite a lot of companies in industrial economy in creating jobs and provision of economic growth for the region. As for the industrial zone, we provide investment incentives for investors in implementing this program, and we also provide delayed payments in terms of taxation. Also, we provide government products, land, so to speak, then machinery, equipment, vehicles, except for cars. And so we provide investment subsidies for investment. This will be the payment for investment, and also it will be possible to pay back the procured equipment. That is why I'm proud to say that implementation of the socially oriented program, Alo Manata, is the program supported, the program of support for agricultural sectors, and it provides the budgetary credits up to 1 billion rubles with low interest rate, and so the implementation of this program takes place for 6 months. This would be the first stage for greenery growing, poultry and cattle breeding, and investments for agricultural and rural areas. We also provide training for rural areas for business activities. Currently, we do some preparation work and arrange meetings with rural population. We provide training courses and introduce programs on preferential loans for further business development. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask. As far as I understand, this is a kind of a zone where people are invited with their projects. Yes, that's true. So the government provides resources and assets for us for implementation of the program, for attraction of investments from outside, for support of entrepreneurship. We have the special foundation for support, also management of community markets, and also operation via our different programs. But do we understand correctly that there are some projects existing, because you are talking about the projects related to agriculture, rural areas, so far we understand that there is population that is invited to this process. Yes, we have the industrial zone for 12 companies, chemical and oil and gas industry, recycling of tires, used tires, and logistics. And we have the industrial zone. We also have socially oriented program for support of rural population, for elimination of unemployment, and providing training for small and medium-sized businesses. Where is this information available if somebody is interested? This information is available at our official webpage, SPK October. Dear colleagues, friends, do you have any questions? Thank you very much. You were the first one. I see that. Please don't worry. Everyone here is the close one. Thank you very much. And now I would like to invite
Kazakh National Product.
Kazakh National Product, the company that provides services in industrial security. Online, we have Adil Upabekov, the founder of the company. We give floor to you. Happy to welcome you. Hello, Rustam. You know, I cannot see you very well. You may call me Rustam. So it's nice to be invited. I would like to thank Ural for giving me the floor. I'm the entrepreneur and of the medium-sized company, and also I'm the member of the regional board of entrepreneurs of our region. We have relationships with Bashkiria, and we established our relationships from the times of the business missions, mutual business missions, starting from the visits of our president and head of Bashkortostan, and then we continue this cooperation during our meetings, meetings of Deputy Minister Baksultanov, the Minister of Trade. and also reciprocal visits from Bashkortostan. What I would like to say, I will briefly, if possible, can you share the screen? I'm not allowed to share screen. I have a presentation. I wanted to show my presentation to you about our group of companies. We exist from 2009.
Присутствуем и по Казахстану, и также в России.
And we have our presence both in Kazakhstan, in Russia. We have our office in Moscow. Our issues are mainly related to industrial security and industrial safety. So I would like to share my screen with you. Our group of companies, you see, QNP.
Видно.
Это группа компаний QNP, Kazakh National Product.
So this is a group of company, Kazakh National Products. We have over 250 employees, about 170 technical experts. We are located in Astana, earlier in Nur-Sultan, and then in Karaganda, Terau, and also this would be our kind of Moscow, Houston, a two-main-like city, and also in Moscow.
Ремарка, sorry.
Sorry.
Получается, группа компаний у нас состоит из компаний.
Our group of companies is dealing with defectoscopy and QNP education company that is related to industrial safety, non-destructive testing, technical surveillance, inspections. We are working with the Russian companies, interacting with them in terms of transfer of knowledge, and dealing with transfer American, Russian knowledge, construction knowledge, and also with the companies dealing with environmental protection and training. In principle, we just describe the type of our companies. The defectoscopic company is the one that allowed us to enter Bashkortostan. The main idea was to establish cooperation as far as you have a lot of oil and gas companies and a lot of tasks related to safety issues. And so we deal with Port-Neftegas because the agreement was signed during the visit of our Prime Minister and at the meeting with the head of our Prime Minister and the head of Bashkortostan. We signed the memorandum on cooperation. And this was the company that signed the agreement on cooperation from our side. Also, we have the company related to involvement of technical surveillance and environmental issues. So in principle, just briefly, this is about our strategy. This is the award which we received from the person whose name was Bahar Sultanov. This is our ambassador. Ambassador of Kazakhstan in Bashkortostan and in the Russian Federation. He is now on the position of the Eurasian Commission, and I think that he is capable and he will continue to enhance the cooperation between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan. Here you see the list of projects in which we were involved, the completed ones, just to demonstrate how serious we are, different certificates, international certificates. And what I would like to draw your attention to, so this is probably the same as my colleague from October has done. We all understand that the Russian Federation is our brotherhood nation. We have common history. We have the longest border, on land border, and so Bashkortostan is a kind of a buffer, the entry point in terms of relationships with the Russian Federation, because we have the common roots, as the Deputy Minister, my colleague, has already said. We have common Turk roots, and we have similar languages. And besides, Bashkortostan is a large country having the huge potential and knowledge in machinery that you have already touched upon. The representative of the trading house, I mean. So we could establish such cooperation and manufacturing if you have establishment of production facilities in mind. Then we could establish it in special economic zones that were mentioned by my colleagues. I'm not going to speak about October. because I haven't been there yet. As for Karaganda region, we have the special economic zone there. And I wanted to draw your attention to our second special economic zone that is called Sarань. It would be an option, because there we have the assembly of buses in cooperation with China. We have other types of facilities. So we visited this with Ural. We saw the assembly of these buses. It was the full cycle of assembly. There were some ideas proposed by Ural in terms of producing parts that could be produced by the companies from Bashkortostan as a joint ventures, or in other types of legal foundation. So far, I would like to mention that here at this special economic zone, we have successful projects that were realized with Kazakhstan. So we can speak of successful cases and success stories that could be continued together with Bashkortostan, and we could enhance it and improve it. And I would like to invite colleagues who attend this wonderful forum to visit our region, our special economic zone, and we will be happy to demonstrate it to you with our honorary council. We have already used this opportunity, and before this I visited Ufa, and I think that we could become a bridge and invite the companies from Bashkortostan to visit our special economic zone. What I would also like to mention, here you see our customers. Maybe it's not very important, but I would like to mention the following. You have very enhanced digitization, and we know your minister, and also you have very strong science. It has already been mentioned by a colleague's deputy minister that you have over 1,000 students in Bashkortostan, in Ufa Oil and Gas University. And this cooperation could be also implemented in with Ufa and between Ufa and Karaganda. You also have a very strong. We have very strong IT hub, the Terracon Valley, and we could cooperate in terms of exchange of our knowledge and skills in digitization. As far as your digitization is very strong, as for science, we have Karaganda University, State Technical University, my alma mater, and we could think of cooperation here. And as an idea, we have already discussed it with Margarita Bashirova. I think that in perspective we see arrangement of the visit of your first Prime Minister to Karaganda region for meeting with our head of the region, and thus we will be able to discuss the mutual and joint initiatives. Maybe we can arrange a mini business forum. So this is an idea. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we would also like to invite you to visit us. And at this moment, I understand, as you have already mentioned, that you have the ambassadors here, and so far and so forth. But once we are talking about the beginning of cooperation, maybe the representative of your company we need here, or maybe we need to establish a representative office at your side, and being the Association of Entrepreneurs, we are ready to discuss it. Maybe we need to arrange the stock here, regional stock, or we need to establish the position of the trade commissar, and to create a point that would allow us to approach the Russian Federation further. Maybe it would be interesting to discuss it as well. And on February 16th through 19th in Ufa, we will host the International Safety Forum, where we will invite the whole Russia and the representatives of the Russian companies. So we would like to invite you personally. If you are interested, we will be happy to invite you an invitation, and we are ready to start the cooperation. And we, being business, we are ready to come and to see what you have. You know, as for what I'm interested in, I have seen Sarань and RTE. So Frazen Technical Products manufacturer. We know about this plant. We don't know how it exists and how they live because we used to communicate with the colleagues about 15 years ago. However, these ties were not very strong, and that is why I would like to restart this cooperation. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation, and we would like to use you as the point of contact for our further actions. And now we proceed further. At our meeting, we have the representative of Akamat Kostanay region, and we would like to give the floor to the head of the Division of Entrepreneurship and Industrial Development from Kostanay, to Jaslan Kalenov. The floor is yours.
Greetings. You can come up here, sure, if you feel comfortable. Greetings, dear forum participants. First of all, I would like to greet you on behalf of the administration of our region, which is close to the Russian border, and we tightly cooperate with the Russian Federation, in particular with Bashkortostan. Thank you so much for holding such a large-scale forum, which I'm sure will help to streamline cooperation between the regions in terms of industry and other areas mentioned today, all the sectors of economy, all the branches of the industry. I'm sure in all the given areas we will be able to streamline effective cooperation. Secondly, I would like to congratulate our colleague with the appointment, Ural Anzebayev. I'm sure this person will give a significant impulse to cooperation between Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan, in particular Kostanay region of Kazakhstan. Our region, as I have already mentioned, we are close to Russia geographically. We have a huge industrial potential. We have a huge market of products, commodities and services. We have a lot of roads, motorways, and railroads. May I have my slides, please? In general, our region enjoys very favorable geographic position because we border with 3 regions of Russian Federation and 5 regions of Kazakhstan. Kostanay region is in the middle of consumer market, equal to more than 25 million services. We have a lot of fossils and natural resources. We studied, as of now, about 35 mineral resources and fossils. We have about 350 fields explored. We actively participate in foreign trade with various states and countries. 85 countries, this is the number we have trade with. Russia is the largest trade partner. 50% of all the trade falls to Russia, of Kostanay. Compared to 2019, the pre-pandemic year, in 2029, the trade increased almost 100%. We also develop regional relations by concluding agreements addressed to improvement of cooperation in terms of foreign trade, increase of trade. Kostanay administration concluded 10 memorandums with the regions of Russian Federation, also Belarus, Uzbekistan, and China. Also, I would like to say that the increase in mutual trade is impossible without investment and expansion of existing production facilities. One of the far-reaching goals of our region is to establish favorable investment climate. For that, we have all the conditions, as it has already been mentioned by colleagues from Aktobe regions and business representatives from Karaganda region. In every region, we have its own industrial zone, which helps to provide entrepreneurs to implement their projects. In Kostanay, in the city of Kostanay, we have an area of this kind. It has all the utilities, gas, electricity, etc., sewage, water, and also railroad and motorways. On the territory of this industrial zone, we have two types of accommodation: greenfield format, where you have a plot of land with all the utilities, and number two is brownfield. You have all the utilities plus facilities, structures for your business, accommodation. All this work is aimed for the development of economy, where we have quite a huge production potential. Today, we have around 900 enterprises employing about 42,000 persons who are involved in manufacturing. The engineering is about 48% in the total amount of industry, light vehicles and heavy vehicles. We have Serekanay Автопром, which manufactures using SKD and from scratch manufacturing. We will also implement a lot of investment projects, such as light vehicles, Chevrolet, Kia, Lada, and Renault. The next stage would be to deepen localization of production. Sararka Автопром company plans to begin assembly of Lada Granta and Kia Sportage using SKD method. They will manufacture more than 25,000 cars a year. The total amount of investment would be equal to $31 million. Also, agricultural engineering and vehicles. We have a very well-developed agrarian sector. We manufacture Belarus, Kirovets, and Lvov. Agramash Holding started localization center to manufacture components for agricultural machines. It's an advanced complex. It allowed not to increase the volume, but also the localization of production of this kind. For example, except for large-scale manufacturing, we managed to manufacture assemblies and units for tractors and combiners to the total amount of 597 pieces. Agramash Holding expands its product line. They manufacture now cockpits for Laval tractors. We will also manufacture Deutz Farm manufacturers together with Italian company SDL Group, and also Turan tractors. Here we cooperate with Tashkent Agrotractor from Uzbekistan. And we are developing our industrial zone, where we manufacture components for such tractors as Kirovets and Belarus. And also, one of our plants in Kazakhstan plans to launch a factory to manufacture cockpits for Belarus tractors. The annual production volume will be about 10,000 cockpits, many of which will be exported. Also, we implement two major projects called Kanlitki Zit. The overall designed capacity 350 million, cast iron, and also manufacturing gearboxes for vehicles, for trucks. Also, we have the products will be unique for CIS countries, and it will be a channel of transfer of state-of-the-art world practices into Russia and the region. We're also building a factory for commercial vehicles and accessories. We will invest around $4 million. In general, we work a lot on trans-border cooperation, close-to-border cooperation. In this case, I would like to say that irrespective of these ties we have in Bashkortostan in social sphere, we would like to develop industry and military, light vehicles, building. In general, I would like to thank everyone, and I would like to say that in autumn next year, in the city of Kostanay, we'll have the 19th Forum for Interregional Cooperation of Bashkortostan and Russia, with participation of 2 states. I would like to use this opportunity to invite all of you to this forum, as part of which we will hold a number of events. In general, as a conclusion to my presentation, I would like to say that our region has a huge potential to implement projects not only in agriculture and industry, but other spheres of economy. We would like to start cooperation as construction, light industry, renewable energy, tourism, to implement projects on the introduction of elements of 4.0, Industry 4.0. We are open to cooperation as part of World Economic Cooperation. If you have any questions, please, you're welcome. Or maybe after. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Jaslan. You're representing the Institute for the Support of Economy. So should you have any questions, dear audience, please feel free to resort directly. Friends, I have on my agenda, we have a representative of Uralsk Remash. Looks like this person is not available today. Let's give the floor to Bashkortostan. We have the Deputy CEO on marketing, Krasny Proletariy, Red Proletarian. Marcel Elgizovich, you have the floor.
Unfortunately, the speaker is not using the microphone. So our manufacturer, Krasny Proletariy, is the company with huge history, and we are in the oil and gas equipment market from 1941, and we use 2 repairs of diesel engines, and so we still have the same manufacturer, and we increase and enhance our product line, and we are located in Sterlitamak, not far from the border with Kazakhstan. And this is the city where we have BSK company also. We have 250 employees in our company. We implement the full cycle from the receipt of materials to production output, and we produce the CNC machines and also thermal processing and galvanics. So we have the processing department, and our products are being used in such companies as Transneft, Lukoil, Gazprom, and also we work for the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, for the Unified Construction Corporation, for nuclear industry, and also companies of the foreign countries. And so the products we produce would be pumping stations for pumping of oil and oil products and other aggressive media, with different performance and types of vehicles. So all the pumps that we use are produced by us as well. Also the equipment for well servicing for 80, 50 and 80 tons depending on the well depth. The auxiliary equipment for different types of industry, the rotating cranes, cable machines, bridges, apparels, and bridge cranes. Also tanks up to 50 cubic meters with different types of transportation, and we also use diesel engines and so tank engines for Ministry of Defense. We also repair different engines, Caterpillar, Cummins, and we also provide spare parts based on import substitution programs. In our product range, we have different types of vehicles, containers, and tanks. Diesel generators from 3 to 300 kilowatts of different performance. With Kazakhstan, Our company has long-term ties, and we cooperate with such companies as Soil
Саутсойл и так далее.
and other companies. So we produce we produce equipment and supply equipment for well servicing, pumping stations, and repair of diesel wells for drilling rigs. Due to difficulties we experience at the moment, we participate in tenders, and due to lack of spare parts, we experience certain problems, but we understand that there are no similar products in Kazakhstan, I mean similar to those that are produced by Krasny Proletariy. And we have studied the possible prospective sites where to locate the production of equipment in Kazakhstan. We have found the site in Severouralsk, so with our colleagues from Agrarian Mash. We have performed the technical surveillance audit, and we have signed the memorandum on cooperation. And I would like to thank the government of Bashkortostan and Kazakhstan for supporting the projects in cooperation, which will allow it to produce the high-quality equipment for Kazakhstan. Thank you very much. Colleagues, maybe you have any questions? Then, if you have time, please feel free to ask. And now we saved some time for practical communication, for Q&A session, maybe some questions from the audience, maybe there are some ideas or topics you would like to discuss. And while you are thinking, I would also like to introduce a delegation from Kazakhstan. I would like to introduce the colleagues, and I would like to name the following persons. Salavat Valshin, company Aquarel KST. Thank you very much. Please tell us briefly what your company is doing. So we are mainly engaged in logistics. So we provide support for business, logistics support. And as for Aquarel KST, so based on the results of April of the last year, we have signed some agreements and contracts for transportation of phyto products from Bashkortostan to Kostanay. And during the 1 year, we are in close cooperation with Bashkir companies. So if guests have questions about the cost of transportation, they may come and ask you, so how much it would cost to transport freight from Bashkortostan to Kazakhstan and backwards. Please write the contacts, and then you will be able to continue the communication. Ragman Akhmetov, the technical director of Kaz Green Agricultural. Is it correct? Just briefly about your company, what you are engaged in. So we have an international company. We are dealing with mineral fertilizers, and we are one of the largest suppliers of mineral fertilizers in Kazakhstan. We work with Bashkortostan, and last year, coming to this forum, we came to know some local manufacturers via Ural, and we continue our cooperation in this direction. And are there any new commercial interests in Bashkiria? Well, mainly in Kazakhstan, we have not so many plants producing mineral fertilizers, as far as Russian Federation mainly produces the mineral fertilizers. So far we cooperate with the Russian manufacturers. Maybe something else is needed for mineral fertilizers, maybe then transportation. We have guys who are dealing with transportation, so the only issue we are facing is the logistics. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. So Ural, see, everything is being done via you. Eldar Alsuakov, the CEO for Atlanspetstechnik. If possible, then just a few words about your company for us to understand what you are and who you are. So we are dealing with spare parts, equipment, and we came here to look around, and we see that Bashkiria produces oils for motors, engines, and we are just doing some reconnaissance and trying to understand if we can establish cooperation. So if you have any interest, please leave your contacts with us, and we will send the information to you.
Yes, please share contacts. Maybe there are some companies here which have similar products or something you are interested in. You could make friends. We're ready to move in, assist you. Thank you so much for coming. Ruslan Iskendirov, please welcome the Department for Project Management of Aktobe region. Probably he stepped out. Director of Kakhanurani, Kamshat Poliva, also stepped out for a while. Or are you here? Yes. If you wish, please, a couple of words, a quick pitch session. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for organizing such a great forum, very well organized. I'm a cattle breeder myself. My mission is to see what's happening in Bashkortostan, to exchange experience. Just yesterday, we've met with BASHKORTOSTAN company. We saw their greenhouses. We are planning to sign an agreement. We're still in the process. We're looking for, should you have any proposals, we're open to cooperation. Are you looking for ideas for yourself associated with agriculture? Okay, I see. Thank you so much. We have a lot to offer you, actually, except for greenhouses. Iris Astana, Managing Director, Rail Ganilyanov. You're welcome. Looks like he's not here. Colleagues, maybe, except for those whom I'm mentioning, Call Infinity Company, Targin Valentin Targin, also not here. And I'm just going through the list. Yes, please, if you like. Greetings, dear colleagues. Chemical Company, Chernozemia, to the city of Belgrade. It's great to be in this forum. We're a family business, we're a family company. We're visiting you. Our session is over. That's why I'm here. I decided to pop in for a while. Thank you very much for inviting to such a great event. Well, I would like to give a quick pitch session. We've been working for 22 years. We do industrial chemistry. We're revamping our production. We have a group of companies, Chernozem chemical companies, transport logistics company in our holding, and a number of others. Our family business in our Belgorod region is developing. There are more and more family businesses in our region. We would like to cooperate with your companies, your enterprises. We work in agriculture, we provide fertilizers, we manufacture in-house rust control, disinfectants, detergents. I will be happy to cooperate and mutual work, mutual respect. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for attending our panel session. At least we heard what you do, and if you make a more distinct offer, maybe you could, if you have some price lists, please share. For you to understand, the Association of Private Businesses is like a point of contact, point of entry to the region. Through Anvar, please contact him, and starting from some very simple questions in terms of economy, getting to know each other, finding connections, and up to contract signing, agreement signing, and establishing a chain of between product supply chains you may build. This will help you to enter the market of Russian Federation. Please feel free to resort to us for these services. Dear colleagues, well, I would like to say, I would like to share my vision of what I heard. We already have some distinct agreements at the top level of our countries. We have historically established relations, mutual relations between our nations and folk. There are entrepreneurs, private entrepreneurs, large companies who are looking for channels of sales, or investors to come in to invest in our businesses in the territories. We have institutions for the support of business. We have federal and local programs which support not only private entrepreneurs but also investors, because investment climate is one of the priority which was mentioned by the leaders of our regions. We have all the perspectives, we have all the resources, we have a contact, and as a conclusion, we have one more speaker today. I would like to give to him the floor for a closing up session. Albert Galiev, Deputy Minister of Industry and Innovations of Bashkortostan. Dear Valery, maybe you can give some kind of conclusion, some points we should pay attention to. You have the floor. Greetings, dear participants of the session. Thank you very much for giving me the floor. I will start with the words of gratitude to Anvar, who heartily invited colleagues from the Minister of Foreign Economic Relations, and Lena, I would like also to thank. In the past months, we have been working actively with Ural. We worked at INAPROM exhibition in the Ekaterinburg, which was held in summer this year. We had guests from Kazakhstan, businesses who actively cooperated, Call Infinity also, which is unfortunately not here today. Lately, they just visited our investment hour held by Radi Khabirov, the head of Bashkortostan. They have a very serious project. We believe in them. We have trust in them. We're keeping our fingers crossed for the project to be implemented. We already found some land plots for the project. We will keep it secret for a while. Let this come as a surprise for you. So we have another project in Trans-Urals region, which was mentioned, the city of Sebay, where the investment forum was held, Zauralye. The mining project and processing, treatment of mining products. We have one company from Kazakhstan participating. Also, as a result of a visit of the head of Bashkortostan to Kazakhstan, we have some roadmap. Lena, I think you will support me here. We have a roadmap. It includes some areas, branches of industry, including our general partner there, our principal partner of our International Business Week. It's BSK, Bashkir Soda Company. There is a whole set of events on the agenda, starting from development of fossil fuels and supply of products. So it's a bi-sided road. We have engineering products in Bashkortostan. We have two largest engineering Nefas, public company, and TEZA, Tuimazi plant of concrete vehicles, concrete transportation vehicles, liquid concrete. We participated in Paris-Dakar race, and Tuimazi plant of concrete transporters. They manufacture all kinds of substructures based on KAMAZ truck and concrete pumps. They provide concrete mixers, agitators, transportation. We have certain areas of cooperation. I'm talking about several dozen thousand product items, product pieces, and we're very enthusiastic about that. Also, we cooperate in mining, because Kazakhstan is famous for its mining enterprises and fields. Bashkortostan has 4 largest mining projects. We have the necessary competence, we have the manpower. I'm sure that our experts visit Kazakhstan to assist based on contracts on field development, mining of iron ore, copper ore. And as a conclusion, I would like to say that we cooperate a lot. We need to cooperate even more. There are areas. In terms of area, Kazakhstan is one of our assistants. I think people will understand me. In terms of promotion of products in both ways, that's what we do. We have a lot of hopes. I believe, I have strong trust. I'm sure this area will further develop and improve. Well, in the given situation, I think we will be able to overcome the hardships together, and we will resolve all the issues, all the bottlenecks, and I see that our future is bright. Together, we can solve all the challenges, and we should believe in each other, have trust in each other. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Valery. And one more comment, please. In the pandemic, during the pandemic, we had Western Kazakhstan region, the city of Uralsk, if I'm not mistaken, through the administration of West Kazakhstan region. In Russian Federation, we had a situation with the growth of people infected with COVID. We had, I can't say that it was a deficit, but a certain lack in medical oxygen, and colleagues from Kazakhstan, in a certain way, they helped us out, which we're very thankful for them for. Thank you so much. Dear friends, looks like we're ready to wind up the session. I think it wouldn't be right if we don't give the floor to the representative of Kazakhstan at the Trade Representative Office in Kazakhstan, Ural. You're welcome. Just a couple of words, very briefly.
I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank the companies from Kazakhstan who visit our forum for second year in a row. Companies that deal with fertilizers, logistics, spare parts. They visited us last year and they came again. This is a tradition, I think. So, and we have the cooperation with Bashkortostan. I hope next year we'll have more delegations to come. Thank you very much. And we do believe that we will see not only the quantity of participants in delegation, but we will see the improvement of quality. And so we see that it's manifested via the turnover between our republics. And also we would say that some people are just thinking about this, but we have broadcasting, so for live broadcasting, and it's being watched not only in Bashkiria, but also Russian Federation-wide, and it's also watched in Kazakhstan. And we demonstrate that we're ready for a dialogue, we have a lot in common, and we have a lot to work at. Thank you very much. And we would like to believe that this panel session was really very useful for you, and we will be able to continue to communicate during the break, and our International Business Week will last today and tomorrow. Thank you very much once again, and see you next time.